Hello everyone, I'm Kako Crisci. Welcome back to my channel. Let's start with a moment of silence, please. Thank you. And today here, I show you this piece is from Liangzhu culture. Let's review our 4-point checkup vehicle to identify this piece. Actually, we see the 4-point. If you want to shrink, you can make the 2. First one is the material. Related with material, we will see what kind of a jade it was made from. And also, we have to see this guy has been buried 1,000 years. What's the evidence it has on the surface? Which is we will examine the patina, the stains, and the earth try to eat in the effort left us a lot of hint. And another part to examine jade piece also is something related with a human, means the design. What kind of a design we put on there so we can categorize which these pieces come from. And also, besides the design, we need to examine the craftsmanship, how it was made. It is fit in, that's the time period, that the technique they use. Okay, let's go over from them. First one, I want to show you, this is an unusual piece. We have went through many Liangzhu culture jade. Most of them you see they are fully stained and it's very deep. Partial has the light go through. The majority of them is fully stained, but this one you see here, this part is stained very heavily, almost wine color brown. But this part, you will see the original jade, the color. You see this greenish, yellow greenish. I call it as a fava bean. It looks like a fava beans, right? This part, that's the original jade. So when we look at this, we will ask, hey, this piece is interesting. It's not fully stained. Why? So one could think about it. The reason is this region come from is a slightly north part of Liangzhu culture. Is less moisture in their soil. So this part got stained, and this part not far away, you see, is no stain, it's lightly. So it's not the soil, it's not evenly. And also, when we look at this material, this kind of hard jade is less used in the center part of Liangzhu culture. Some scholar did research, you can refer in my book. They say this jade is from the north part of a region. If from the north part, that makes sense, the soil is less moisture than the southern part. So they created this part heavily stained, and this part you can still see the original jade color. You see even here, the heavily stained, you still can see the light go through. You see there? It's a very beautiful kind of a jade, very hard. This add our knowledge to jade material that have been used, not only those less density, deeply curving the jade. they use this kind, almost like a Hetian jade, very hard. Because it's very hard, after it's polished well, you see the shiny surface? That's the Liangzhu polish. For this kind of a finish, must be very hard jade to be achieved. If the material is so soft, no matter how hard you polish, you won't get this glassy surface. Okay, let's go through this material part and the stain. I want to show you on this jade material. This guy is very unusual. Let's see if we can enlarge this. You will see there's a big crack on the jade. Let's see here. See, this part is big crack, but it looks like the jade try to heal itself. Between the cracks, you will see the crystal things growing. It's trying to healing. This not really show well. Okay, later I will take a few microscope view for you to see. Now let's go to see the design part. We notice this jade, let's go back. You don't see those typical Liangzhu jade with those dainty face on it. It has the dainty face, but it's much simple. You see this part on the top, there's a few lines indicated as a crown. This is the big eyes, nose, mouth is open, and underneath this the dainty face. People say the big eyes, there's a small eyes that indicate a human, and this part is a dainty, which is, I think, this part from all those Liangzhu pieces we have to see, this is the human face, dainty, and this part more likely is the cow, big eyes, big nose here, and the nose bridge. This is a much simple design without those detailed tiny lines inside here. From this design, we can categorize it to the later part of Liangzhu culture, which is early than those tall Cong you see in the past in the museum, those black gray thing. They even don't have the detail about the eyes, face, in just a few sections. It's a small eyes, sometimes not even had the eyes on it, has a face, just a few section, long section, 17 section, whatever, long stuff. Less detailed than this. That's why I put this age is up early than those black Cong, long, tall black Cong, early than that. But it's later than the middle part of Liangzhu culture. I mean, the middle part is fully designed, those things. That's the peak of Liangzhu culture. This one is outside the Liangzhu region on the age of Liangzhu for the most part, and also time-wise is later. And then now we see the design. We will see how it was made. I want to show you. When you want to see how it is made, you see the eyes here, how they grew out this part, and leave the erase the line to cover this eyeball. You see the eyeball not fully round. You see how they curved it in here? Let me enlarge a little bit. Hope I can see better. Yes, this way you can see better. And also, you may notice you want to see is this part, how they curve out this unwanted material. And when you see this, sometimes it's be helpful. You look at this, hold on this angle, let the light reflect on here, and you will see the tool marks on it. So you know how they curve out this. Let's see here. You see this part? The round? You can imagine they use a tool like a drill the hole. A drill down here out. And then, because this out this part, they use the wire to cut off this part. And also I want to show you is inside you will see how beautiful it was polished. See how smooth it was polished, like a mirror can reflecting the light. In the center part, that's the another Liangzhu character, because they drill the holes from the both end in the same time, they will meet in the center. So you see they polish well, they still have a tiny bit of curve left here. Why they polish it well? As the book has said, because they use the Cong to host it, their ancestors' soul to stay here. So you don't want your ancestors' soul stay here, be uncomfortable, bumpy. So you need to polish it really smooth. For this size, I measured before I posted. See here, about 8-inch wide, long, wide, about 8, and slightly above 8, almost like a square. It's a beautiful piece. I hope you can get some new knowledge from this piece, especially by the material they use. So we should add a new kind of material knowledge towards our Liangzhu's understanding about their Jade culture. Okay, here is about this piece. I thought about it. I think this is about the piece. If you just want to learn the Jade, you can stop here. I asked myself why people can't see Jade. That's the road I came from, and I want to share you my experience and knowledge with you. Hope that help you to have a deeper understanding about this Jade culture. One thing is we have to talk about is museum. You will say that's our knowledge for a long time. Museum have the best piece. That's why they're inside the museum, right? If it's not the best piece, they won't go into the museum. And also, since museum have all those pieces, all those jade, those forms inside the museum, they already have it. Others you don't see inside the museum, they don't exist. That's a long time, it's our knowledge. We all started from there. There's nothing wrong. We went to a museum, we see every pieces. If you are lucky, You can handle the piece. They show you the piece even from their bag. If you are lucky, you get to know the museum. Yeah, that's all good. But the basic idea is to ask from our knowledge to see why museum has so little pieces. Let's do the example just like a broken necklace. Inside the museum, maybe have one piece or two pieces, a few drop there. They can't threaten up to a whole piece. That's the situation we are facing right now. But we still believe museum have all of the best. Whenever museum have an exhibition, we will hang on their publication books and compare the pieces, see if we can match by the pictures. That's the process we study Jade. From the beginning, we all go through that. We really don't have many educational material around. That's why people so heavily depend on the knowledge museum gave out. But the thing is, they are not the truth. Museum have a beautiful pieces, I agree. But for the quantity, for the quality, you have to see outside the world, outside the museum, we have much more pieces around. Why those pieces won't get into a museum, or those much beautiful, much precious than the pieces they have? Why? From what I understand is they have so many regulations, rules. Even the very talented researchers, as soon as they sit on the chair inside the museum, their hands, their feet were tightened by regulations, rules, laws, and you just can't have the freedom to do the research the Jade deserve to. And even you do the research, in the Western world, even in the Western world, the Chinese government send out the lawyers, spies, walk around, sniff around the museum. They will ask you how you get that piece in there, and what's your provenance, what do you prove that the piece is legal, whatever the word they use. If not falling that the category they are asking for, they will ask that piece back. They will claim every piece is a national treasure. So without the identification, what's the thing is national treasure. Okay, that's the way they do. So this thing, apparently, Taiwan Palace Museum noticed this. They did a great job. In this Jade field, Taiwan Palace Museum is the top. That's the jewels of the crown of the king in this image. Exactly, they have many pieces. They did a wonderful work to let it out the knowledge about the ancient jade. But still, they realize the pieces they have is no comparison with outside the museum, what the real life has there. So I heard this story from different resources, and then when finally figure out that I stitch them together, I share you what I learned. Is many years ago, decades ago, Taiwan Palace Museum did a great effort try to bring in the outsiders jade pieces, collections, private collections, let them have an exhibition inside the Palace Museum. That's a great thing. You know, the door is, they opened, first time opened the door for private collector to show you piece. That will be that is a great opportunity to add our knowledge about the real jade world. Not only depend on inside the museum, but also outside also. Unfortunately, this effort is turned out to be a very, very painful experience because some collectors' pieces, it won't pass Deng Shuping's eyes. She refused to let those pieces she thinks no good get into the door, put on the table on the exhibition. And this thing apparently brought the hatred from some so-called collector expert. And they make a big fuss. Newspapers and whatever all make such a huge fuss. And Deng Shuping almost lost her job. And her boss, the director of a Palace Museum, was called to, let's say, American Congress. And he was such well-respected gentleman in the world, but he was called to the Congress place, was coolly grilled, rudely insulted by the people. Probably in their lifetime, they have never go into the Palace Museum. And even a few times they bring their children to see. They have clueless about what is about jade. But those people has the right. They cross-examine you. They rudely criticize you, give you questions. And they have the right, can put you into jail. So this thing happened, and since then, the Taiwan Palace Museum never do again to open their door for private collection. Private collectors put their piece out there to add on knowledge about jade. It's very sad. You know, in Buddha teach, and people shouldn't interfere with the person who is pursue his dharma. Let's say, an example, easy to understand. If you see a man sit there quietly do the meditation, you shouldn't go over, pat on his shoulder, say, hey, excuse me, may I use your bathroom, please? That is the no thing, bad thing, will bring you bad karma because you interfere him. You don't know how far away he's on his way to reach his goal, to achieve the truth he was searching for. And that's why Buddha teaches us never interferes people when they pursue their way. The same idea, because our human, those bitter, selfish, those poison inside the people, they ruined the whole big project. Not only they insulted well-respected person in that field, but also they did such damage about spreading those Jade knowledge to the world. I understand why museum don't do this again. I won't do it if I were them. I work hard. From the bottom part, I reach the top. And a few more years, I will retire. Everything's fine. I will keep my good reputation. Why I do this? And someone just call themselves expert and accuse you, use public money to buy wrong thing, fake thing, and they have no clue about what they're saying. I want to do it. And in the Western world, they want to do it, right? So we can see why the museum, especially in the Western world, they have those so minimum collections. That's the truth of thing about this. And also I want to bring you attention to museum is they have their audience. They are facing general public. They have to make money to pay their own bills, to make their ends meet. So you have to keep this in mind. They are facing general public. If we depend on everything museums say and every publication they did is whole true, very, we will make a fool out of ourselves as a Jade research, as a collector. We can't solely depend on what's museum publication, what they say. I give you two examples, very simple. You know, in Taiwan Palace Museum, they published the Jade book. They're very, very good. They show you how the Jade was made. They show you the pictures from 19th century, how people sit on the stool to make a Jade. But if you believe all Asian Jade was made that way, you are totally wrong, because that is not the truth. Every stage, they use a different kind of tool to make it. That is the 19th century picture. It doesn't apply to all Asian Jade. That's the first thing. And second thing, sorry, I have to same use National Palace Museum in Taiwan. Last year, they made an exhibition. It's talk about Wu Ding and his emperors. Let's say they say in the Shang Dynasty, the phrase they use, emperor and the queen. They say Fu Hao was the queen, was the empress of the Wu Ding king. That is not really the truth, but for general public purpose, that's perfectly fine. People come to see, and young children come to see. They feel excited, they got interest in history, perfectly serves the purpose. That's fine. But that's far away from the matter of fact, the truth. If you want to find out more, you can refer to my book. That's the thing. We should understand their standing, their audience. is for general public general good, not really for the collectors. Especially you already passed the initial stage of a collector, you want to go high, you have to think about it. Is that true? Okay, let's stop here today. Let's have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you next time.